that sector. Thank you.
It's interesting that when you had lower staff, you spent 1.1 million on goods and services. When you added 17 more people, goods and services rather went down. How did you manage that?
I should also add that in 2023, there was a broad salary increase by the state. So that also impacted the figure that you see there.
Your answer on goods and services.
Oh, okay. Sorry, could you please repeat that question?
Okay, I will. I said when you had lower staff, number of people in 2022, your goods and services was 1.1 million. Now, when you had more people, an increase in salaries, your goods and services went down. How did you manage that?
Honorable Chair, it depends on the subvention we receive from the state. In some years, we receive very low funds. In other years, the receipt could be appreciable. So everything that we do in terms of our financial support comes from the state. In particular, I would say even 2024, we had approval of 1.6 million for goods and services because it was an election year and we had laid out a very comprehensive program to cover the elections. But by the end of the year, we had about 600,000. That's a third. So it fluctuates. It depends on when finance can afford to give us so that's how it is.
What is the special expenses of 231,000?
Which chair, please, Honorable Chair?
The special expenses on the expenditure side, it was 231,000.
Honorable Chair, I would honestly plead with you that we got this invitation only today, about 2 hours ago. So we've had to rush from the office and pull things together. So I would have to refer to my team about that. 231.
You have an accountant over here?
Yes, but I have to say the accountant only took over this year. The previous
he took over this year?
Yeah, she took over this just this year, about 2 months ago. Yeah. So, Honorable Chair, if you would permit us, we could finish with the details a little later, please.
Okay, your current assets, non-current assets, from 2.1 million to 56 million. Madam Accountant, do you know how it went?
Honorable Chair, so from the Controller Office, there was a notice that we look at our assets. So there was a revaluation of our assets across the region, and that's how come the numbers went high. The National Account Office, they usually do quarterly engagement with state-owned entities. And so within that period, there was an engagement, and we did a revaluation of all our assets across the regions. Yes.
Audit service, how is that possible? So does it mean their assets were lying idle, not captured in their books or anything? Because if this really is not an injection of new assets, and your assets, your non-current assets was 2.1 million, and you have done a revaluation, not because you have put in new equipment, but just revaluation, and it's jumped to 56 million, then we have a problem in this country. Meaning our assets are lying idle, we haven't captured it in the names of the agencies which owns these assets. Is that the case?
Yes, Honorable Chair, that has been the case before the adoption of the IPSAS accruals. And because of where we are going as a nation, there is the effort to revalue some of these assets. Most of them were carried on our books at the old cost. At the time we bought those assets, those were the values that were still on our accounts, on our records. But after the decision to go the IPSAS accrual way, all these assets are being revalued. And so you realize that some of the entities that appeared here, they've revalued the assets, and the values are a bit higher than what they had before. So that is the situation. So exactly as he indicated to us here. Thank you.
So audit service from 2.1 million to 56 million without new assets, but just revaluation of existing assets.
Yes, Honorable Chair, it's possible. It's very possible.
Like I would be very grateful if we can be finished with the documentation on this, because from 2 million assets on the books of Ghana News Agency was 2 million, and there was a revaluation, and then it jumped to 56 million. Then by this, isn't it the same with a lot of government agencies or public institutions and boards? Meaning our whole of government accounts does not reflect a true and fair view of assets in this country.
No, Honorable Chair, like I said, most of these organizations have had the assets revalued. And so that has been captured in the whole government account. And when Controller appeared here, they admitted the challenge that there's still some work that has to be done in this particular area when it comes to having the real values of these assets on our accounts. So some work is being done in that area, but most of these organizations have had their assets revalued. For instance, an office building that was done some years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, you may have a cost or a value of about 100,000, and that had been the value on the books. But now when you revalue that particular office building in a very prime area, like the Ghana News Agency, obviously the value will go that high. Yes.
Okay, so you got a proper valuer, a valuer that we can, valuer whose work can stand the test of time, so that tomorrow, if we come back to revalue or to look at it, we wouldn't be told that even the 56 has to go down to something lower. Because jumping from 2.1 to 56, only on the basis of revaluation, it's a bit worrying. And so we'll be happy if you can furnish, GNA, you can furnish the committee with your accounts and the list of your assets in 2022, the list of assets that was captured in 2022, and the revaluation, bringing your amount to 56 million in 2023. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. The same group. Yes. Okay. And
it depends on the matters at hand. For instance, I'm briefed on some finding on a matter relating to alleged violation of the Procurement Act, for instance, in the sourcing of a company to service one of their machines. So I'm briefed on that. If it's a matter that comes up, I'll be able to speak to it.
Well, there's also a bit on their financial performance and financial position.
Yes, it keeps on sinusoidal. And we in government have expressed worry about the state of affairs at Graphic. Indeed, they've written a number of letters to me indicating that they are distressed financially. Part of it has to do with dwindling sales because of the challenge posed by new media and the dwindling reliance on newspapers for information. So that is affecting their operations. They have difficulties with their equipment also. It breaks down frequently, and therefore they are unable to meet some of the deadlines that they give to clients, and this results in loss of work. So there are a number of factors that we are seeking to address comprehensively in the whole government, media, organization ecosystem. So it is not really due to mismanagement or anything of the sort. It is just the realities of the time, which requires some reform in order to reposition them to return to profitability. Yeah.
Minister, I wish they were here to answer to the specifics in the accounts, because I would need certain explanation.
I expect them to be here before the session ends, so hopefully they should be here. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You can handle the management issues, right?
Yes, he said that.
Then Honorable OPK will handle the management issue for graphic on paragraph 1338.
Thank you very much, Senior Felix Akwaba.
Junior, if I'm permitted to respond.
Felix used to be my senior from primary school to JSS. Yeah, so, but today is my junior in Parliament. So, Senior, it has to do with some procurement that Graphic did, and they sole sourced it. In fact, reading the response from Graphic, I get the understanding that the company involved is a sole distributor of Kodak machines in West Africa.
That is so.
There was no other option left to them. So I want to find out from the auditors first, what do you have to say about this infraction? Because clearly they had no other option than to sole source.
Honorable Chair, that is exactly the response from the entity, and that is captured in the report. But I think that the committee would have to take a decision on it. We have indicated their response in the report, but as to whether that is justifiable or not, I think the committee can take a decision on that. Thank you.
So Felix, I think the challenge here is that even if you have to sole source, you still need the approval of PPA.
Absolutely.
And Graphic failed in seeking the approval of PPA in this regard. And I think it's something that they have gone against the law. I mean, sole sourcing still needs the approval of PPA. So with this, I'll leave it to Chairman to take a decision. It's a bit dicey. Yeah.
Oh yes. To the extent that there's a violation that is detected and their answers are not responsive, the committee is at liberty to direct the next steps going forward. We will be happy to ensure that any such violation is cured at the level of government. Yes. Yeah.
Honorable Minister, the recommendation of the auditors is for us to sanction under Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act, 2003, Act 663, as amended, should be applied to the head of the entity. We also recommended that management should always adhere to the provision in the Procurement Act, as stated above, in all of its procurement activities. And the sanction is for us to recommend that it goes to the Attorney General for prosecution when it comes to procurement. They could have done something with PPA, and they chose not to do it. So Attorney General will let you know where your faith lies.
Well, very, very well, Mr. Chairman. As I indicated, as government, we are all for transparency and ensuring that these excesses in procurement are kept. So whatever action you deem fit will be accepted by us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The other one is also on financials, GPAC. And the...
No, GPAC is not financial. So, it's financial. And it's also financial.
Yes.
So we are waiting for that.
And I guess,
We are waiting.
apart from GPAC, and then the last question for Ghana News Agency, that's it that we have.
Minister, whilst we wait for graphic, I have, so in recent times, we've seen some good efforts from GTV, especially their online portals, trying very much to encourage people to pay their TV license. In fact, there's been a league table that shows members of parliament who have paid and those who are yet to pay. In fact, I've had constituents tag me, encouraging me to pay. I did mine somewhere in October, and it's an annual ritual for me. But 276 members of parliament, the money that GTV needs to run.
Except of Public Accounts Committee sitting, and you have in there the Minister for Government Communications, Phyllis Kochuk, was taking his turn together with his agencies under his sector. This is Newsfeed. We will come up with a headline shortly. Please don't go away. Hello again and welcome to Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Coming up, Ashanti GJ demand better safety for journalists after EPA anti-galamsey accident. Also coming up, rice farmers in parts of Volta region appeal to government to regulate the importation of foreign rice. Coming up in business, Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana rolls out ethics program to strengthen integrity in banking sector. And later in sport, Black Stars head coach set to name final squad ahead of Ghana's upcoming international friendlies in Asia. The details of our stories now. The Ashanti Regional Branch of the Ghana Journalists Association has expressed deep concern and solidarity with journalists involved in an accident while covering illegal mining activities in the region. According to the association, the journalists were on an official assignment in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency when the incident occurred. The GJA says it stands firmly with the affected journalists, their families and their media organizations during this difficult period. In a statement, the Ashanti regional leadership of the association emphasized that the safety, welfare and protection of journalists remain a top priority. The incident, it added, highlights the risks reporters face while covering critical national issues such as illegal mining. The association is engaging relevant authorities to ensure the affected journalists receive the necessary medical and emotional support. It is also calling on all organizations that deploy media personnel to high-risk areas to strictly adhere to proper coordination and preparedness at all times. The GJA says it remains committed to supporting its members as they continue to play their watchdog role in addressing environmental and social challenges across the country. Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Hafiz Tijani. Hafiz, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. This is a worrying news that is coming in. Can you give us an update on the current condition of the journalists who were involved in the accident, and how many journalists are we talking about here?
So we are talking about 4 journalists, 1 camera technician. So we have 2 journalists from multimedia, one with the Joy News brand, the other one with the Adom News brand. We have also our own Doris Lonta, the Ashanti region correspondent for CTFM and Channel 1 TV. And we have also Ibrahim Abubakar of Media General TV3.
Very well. Hafiz, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so So Ibrahim currently at the community hospital at Aferi, he has been discharged and he will be leaving the hospital very soon. Doris Launcher is still complaining of some pains at the back and also at the shoulder level. So a surgeon is due to take care of her, and he is coming to check up on her after she had run some X-ray scan, and she would also be advised medically whether or not she'll be discharged. But the other camera technician of multimedia, his condition was so serious, so he was referred to the Confanochi Teaching Hospital. We understand he had a thigh dislocation, so he has been sent to the Confanochi Teaching Hospital. And yesterday in the evening, we were told that the medical officers there had done some surgery, and they are still monitoring his condition. The other two journalists from multimedia, Nanaya Ojima and Obeng Adai, they are also on admission here at the community hospital. They are also the Nanaya Ojima is complaining of chest and back pains, and the other journalist is also complaining of he had some head injuries, so he is also being taken care of by the doctors here. So they are still monitoring their condition before they will advise whether or not they should be discharged today.
Very well. So Hafiz, the affected individuals, what form of support, be it financial or emotional support, have the government, I mean the Environmental Protection Agency, given to these affected journalists?
Well, so the deputy CEO of the EPA, he's here. He has been going from ward to ward, trying to take care of the or look at the conditions of these victims. And he has just come out from one of the wards where he went to see the condition of some of the victims. And he is assuring that they are going to ensure that all of them are taken care of very good, and they are not going to relent in ensuring that they are back on their feet so that they can be discharged from this hospital. A while ago, there was a call from the office of the Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff at the Presidency himself even called. He says that the Presidency or the President had instructed him to call the journalists individually. So he called them to check up on them. So this shows the kind of seriousness the government is also placing on this.
We wish all the affected individuals speedy recovery. Thank you so much. Hafiz Tijani is our bureau chief for the Middle Belt for Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM. Now, rice farmers in the Volta region are appealing to government to regulate the importation of foreign rice. They say a glut in the local market has left their produce unsold despite recording a bumper harvest this season. The farmers, mainly from North Tongue, Central Tongue and the Akachi South District, say they are struggling to find, raising fears that large quantities of rice could go waste and push many into debt. They explained that although they would like to sell at lower prices, the high cost of fertilizer and other farm inputs makes it impossible. A rice farmer, Philip Azidu, says many farmers invested heavily this year, hoping to make profit, but are now counting huge losses.
Challenges is we are not getting buyers to buy or purchase our local rice. Though we have in large quantity, but buyers is the problem now. And also the inputs are expensive, and if we are to reduce the price to the lowest, it will affect we the farmers as well. It will affect we the farmers. So I think we are pleading so that they should decrease the importation of the foreign rice so that we make use of our local production.
Pambrel Salt Industries Limited, one of Ghana's oldest indigenous companies, is raising alarm over the takeover of part of its operational area by a Chinese national, Robert Tang Wei. The company says state security personnel have supervised the destruction of its salt pans near its refinery plant, where a fence wall is being built without a permit from the South Municipal Assembly. The disputed area reportedly falls within the protected Wija Ramsar site. Managing Director of Pambros, Michael Odate Wellington, says the company has suffered huge losses, adding that a recent clash involving alleged land guards has left workers traumatized.
It would be difficult to quantify that, right? But several years of work has just been destroyed, within a couple of days. It's all been destroyed. It would be very difficult to quantify the impact of what has been done. But, you were asking me about the mood and, about the mood of workers and so on. I can tell you that the morale of the workers is very, very low because they see before their very eyes their livelihood being destroyed.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, has rounded up 320 people in an alleged human trafficking and recruitment scam in the Ashanti region. After screening, officials identified 295 of them as victims, while 25 suspects believed to have lured the victims into a fake QNet business scheme were arrested. The victims, who were brought from different parts of the country under the guise of being offered jobs, educational and travel opportunities, were found at separate locations in Kenyasi, in the Kwabre East Municipality, and Boho in the Ifija South District. Head of EOCO's Anti-Human Trafficking Unit, Staff Officer Dominic Mensah, says arrangements are underway to provide shelter and reunite the victims with their families.
We were able to get locations where people are committing various forms of crimes in the name of QNet. So today we embarked on an operation in two separate locations in Kumasi, at Kenyasi and then Boho. And in those two locations, we apprehended 330 individuals. They were brought to the office, and then we started screening. And for our screening so far, we have 25 of them as suspects, and the remaining are victims of trafficking and then recruitment scam. So we are going to keep the suspects for further screening and then investigations.
Former National Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Freddie Blay, has cautioned that sanctioning party members considered defiant may not be the best approach as the party prepares for its presidential primary. His comments come amid growing calls for the party to crack the whip on individuals whose statements and actions are deemed to threaten the unity of the party. Speaking to Channel One News, Mr. Blay urged party leadership to prioritize dialogue and engagement with such members instead of resorting to punitive measures, warning that sanctions could further deepen divisions within the NPP. Apologies for the poor quality of sound in that particular inset. This is still news feed on Channel 1. Is still to come. Ghana donate relief items worth 10 million cedis to victims of Jamaican hurricane disaster. We have details coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Welcome to the Africa Prosperity Dialogues, where business and political leaders meet to drive Africa's single market.
Distinguished guests, this is our moment to make history. We must act not in isolation, but together as united Africa.
under the patronage of His Excellency John Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, and in partnership with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. The Africa Prosperity Network presents the Africa Prosperity Dialogues 2026 under the theme Empowering SMEs, Women and Youth in Africa's Single Market. Innovate, collaborate, trade.
Ghana is proud to be the home of this important dialogue series, and it will continue to enjoy my utmost support to make subsequent summits even greater.
Register now at africaprosperitynetwork.com or call or WhatsApp at +233 536 098 325.
This November, something amazing is coming to Accra. Are you a farmer with fresh produce? Are you into fish farming, poultry or livestock? Then get ready for the November edition of the AgriFair 2025. Yes, AgriFair 2025. It's happening on Friday the 28th to Sunday the 30th of November. It's happening at the A4 Sutherland Children's Park, and it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. It's the ultimate weekend marketplace, from fruits and vegetables to poultry, livestock and fish to agri-inputs and processing machinery, all at unbeatable farm gate prices. Whether you're selling or buying, this is your chance to connect, trade and grow. Enjoy the freshest farm produce, sizzling kebabs, and a vibrant marketplace atmosphere all in one space. Register now and secure your spot. Call 0558-973-973 for more information. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by Horticulture Business Platform, Development Bank Ghana, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Gersel.
Coming soon from GH Media Productions is So.
Abstain. Why abstain?
I have been seeing through your shenanigans all night. I thought I told you that I didn't want to see that girl in this house again.
A mixed bag of emotions and incidents, Ghanaian family and intergenerational drama. Some not so good.
That boy, that womanizer. You are old enough. I would like you to man up.
In other cases, not so bad.
So does he see in her that he's not seeing in me? Look at me.
Eugene and Anekia made a choice.
You won't believe what Pam and Anekia have done to me.
Watch out for So, a brand new series from GH Media Productions, showing on Channel 1 TV.
Yeah, welcome back to Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Let's do some other stories now. President John Dramani Mahama has called on fellow African countries to mobilize support for countries affected by the recent hurricane. The appeal follows Ghana's donation of assorted relief items worth 10 million cedis to Jamaica and Cuba devastated by the disaster, as well as a portion of the support allocated to war-torn Sudan. The relief package includes bags of rice, mattresses, gari mix, cocoa products, storage tanks, and other essential supplies. The donations are expected to help alleviate the hardship faced by thousands of victims as recovery and rebuilding efforts continue across the affected regions. President Mahama noted that the gesture reflects Ghana's commitment to international solidarity and humanitarian assistance for disaster-affected nations.
Extended assistance to Japan by shipping cocoa products to Japan when they had the tsunami at that time. And so there's another gesture. 3 countries are going to benefit: Jamaica, which is the hardest hit, and then Cuba, but also our colleagues in Sudan. Sudan is virtually becoming the forgotten war. Because of Ukraine and Gaza, it looks like the world's attention has shifted there. And so some of the atrocities, the genocide, and the humanitarian suffering that is taking place in Sudan is not something that belongs to the 21st century. And so we all witnessed recently Al-Fashir, when the RSF went in there. A lot of people were killed, a lot of people were displaced, and those people are in camps that are being run by the Red Cross. And so even though Ghana's contribution would not resolve the humanitarian suffering that is going on, we believe that if every country contributes its quota, we can help to alleviate, what is happening in these places.
The committee set up by the Ghana Maritime Authority to investigate boat accident that occurred in Ketekrachi in the Oti region has submitted its report. The disaster left 15 people dead, including 11 children. The committee recommends full compliance in the wearing of life jacket, among others. Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Naval Captain Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, says the full recommendations of the report will be implemented. You're still watching News Feed on Channel 1 TV. Next, we have business with Nashika Caesar. Hello, Shika.
Hi, how are you?
What's in business?
In business, the Chartered Institute of Bankers, CIB Ghana, is set to roll out a mandatory ethics certification program for all banking professionals as part of renewed efforts to strengthen integrity and rebuild public trust in the financial sector. The new initiative will be officially launched at the 29th National Banking and Ethics Conference on November 11, 2025. This year's conference will focus on ethical leadership, sustainable finance and currency stability, three critical areas shaping the future of Ghana's banking industry. Speaking to Channel 1 News, the CEO of CIB Ghana, Robert Jato, said Ethics 2.0 marks a significant step toward the earlier phase of the program.
Banking is based on trust, and ethics is at the heart of that, which is character, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So for us as Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, we're putting that very high on the agenda of banks and bankers. And one of the ways we're doing that is to launch Ethics 2.0. We did 1.0. A number of banks have completed. Now it is compulsory for everyone working in the banking sector that you must have the Ethics, CIB Ghana Ethics Certification, which is the 2.0 coming up. That would continue to monitor and ensure that once you complete that ethics certification with the declaration, if you do anything, there will be sanctions that would apply. That we expect that it's not just character, but also the consequence and playing within the rules, which is the conduct. And so the continuous focus on that will be important. So we are working very closely with GAB, which is Ghana Association of Banks, the Bank of Ghana, and then of course all other stakeholders to drive the financial sector and make it even more ethical, driving competence and making sure that consequences also apply. That way we can ensure the sustainability of the entire financial system, and if that does well as a sector, then of course the economy as a whole and the country continues to develop.
Now, the Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, has charged the newly inaugurated board of the Ghana National Procurement Agency, GNPA, to deliver value for money in its operations. Speaking at the brief inauguration ceremony in Accra, the minister urged the board to strengthen the GNPA's buffer stock capacity, promote partnerships that enhance local production, and drive measurable results in the government's industrialization agenda. There's more in the following reports by Daniel Sakiti.
The agency is chaired by Reverend Ernest Kojo Eje, with GNPA Chief Executive Officer Kari Yao Owusu-Anti serving as a member. Other members include Ivy Emefa Adiko, Edinam Kojo Asamoah, Nana Opoku Fosu Jiabo II, Stephen Kweku Bona, Henry Yao Echampon, Professor Frederick Doyo and Joseph Konedu. Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, speaking at a brief inauguration ceremony, tasked the board to reposition the agency as a competitive force in both the domestic and export commodity markets, emphasizing the need for efficiency, accountability, and strategic collaboration with industry stakeholders.
I charge you first to set strong governance, approve a board charter, constitute audit stroke risk strategy, HR committees, enforce conflict of interest rules and discourse, align to sector priorities, adopt a GNPA strategy that supports industrialization, agribusiness value chains, SEZs, exports, and then the 24-hour economy. Deliver value for money, please.
Chair of the Board of the Ghana National Procurement Agency, Reverend Enescojo Ejay, on his part, pledged the commitment of the board to deliver on its mandate and support government's efforts to strengthen the agency's operations.
Procurement, as we all know, is central to the effective and ethical functioning of public institutions. We must therefore conduct our duties with fairness, prudence, an unwavering sense of responsibility to the nation we serve.
And that's it for business. I am Na Shika Caesar.
Next is sports with Bernard Abeikoche. Hi, Abeku.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yourself?
great to have you. I'm a miracle as well.
Okay, before we come to the Black Stars,
Yeah.
congratulations to Brian and Mbeumo for winning the Player of the Month for October, I think, last month.
Yeah. And the coach as well, Ruben Amorim.
Oh, nice. First time.
Yeah, first time.
The first time he was nominated, he wins on the first.
Yeah.
That's
and,
nice.
And in November, knowing that October he did a good work is material. Because he's already 1 year into the job. Let's do sports.
Congratulations to him. But the Black Stars will be in action next week.
Absolutely.
And we're expecting the coach to name his final squad for that. Please give us the details.
Great, let's get into it, shall we? Now, the Black Stars head coach Otuado is set to name his final squad ahead of Ghana's upcoming international friendlies in Asia. Ghana will face Japan on November 14 before taking on South Korea 4 days later. Two key games that forms part of preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup to be staged in USA, Mexico, and Canada. Coach Otuado is expected to use the tour to assess the squad, test new combinations, and fine-tune his tactics ahead of Ghana's fifth appearance on football's biggest stage. Both Japan and South Korea have already announced their squad for the friendlies, setting the stage for a tough test for the Black Stars. Meanwhile, the official draw for the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held on December 5 in Washington, where Ghana will find out its group stage opponent. Let's travel into the Premier League now, and Liverpool's head coach Arne Slot says his side is not concerned about their position on the league table at this stage of the season. The 2024-2025 Premier League champions have struggled for consistency in recent weeks, suffering 4 defeats and securing just 2 league wins since their UEFA Champions League victory over Real Madrid. Speaking ahead of their clash with Manchester City, Slot emphasized that the team's current priority is to regain consistency and build momentum rather than worry about standings.
I only focus on ourselves, and our main focus is on consistency at the moment. So, as you probably know, as an Everton fan, you know that we've lost we've lost a few games, much more than we usually do. So, and now we've won 2. So our focus is on getting consistent and improving, getting players fit, and then we will see where that will lead to. But at this moment of time, it's definitely not the only focus we have is the league table. For me, but again, I say mainly the same. We've reached that level of performance in other games as well when the playing style of the opponent was compared to that. But we always knew that we were able to do so. I've showed them many times when playing styles were similar that we could do the same as we did against Madrid.
That's the very latest from the world of sport, and I am Bernard Abeikoche.
And that's it for Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Thank you for doing the watching.
Committee recommendations, a precondition for parliamentary approvals for operations of affected and named institutions. The PAC remains committed to transparency and accountability in the management of public funds. I would like to thank the witnesses who have appeared before